Hey guys, I got a little ahead of myself and I've started taking the, oh man, one of the U-joint caps fell. I started taking the axle shafts off, the half shafts, and I realized I wasn't taping. So wanted to show you what I was doing. So forgive me, because I hate it when people film YouTube videos and they skip parts. But I just basically unbolted, I'm trying to get you some light, unbolted these U-joint straps from the differential yokes right here. They're 8 millimeters. You got to go real slow because it's real easy to strip the head off. So yeah, I just undid those. You have to leave it in gear while you do that, and then sometimes you got to take it out of gear and rotate it some, and then do it again. And then I've taken the hub nut off, so this axle is ready to come out actually. So let's see if I can. Well, all right. Well, it's out, but that was kind of a disaster, so I'll probably end up taking the shock off on the next one. That went really poorly. Okay, so I want to show you the difference in why we're switching axles. We really only needed the yokes, to be honest, because as you see, these later generation Vipers have these little they're not reluctors. What are they? Tone rings. And the tone ring sits on the axle shaft hub right there. You can see they are different. Like this one right here has this little seam on the casting, and then this one doesn't appear to have one. So they are different. I just assumed it was a tone ring pressed on, but they are different. So that's interesting. But everything else about them is the same. So I'll probably, gosh, well, what I'll probably do is I'll probably replace the whole unit so that I can. Oh man, these U-joints do not feel great. That one feels pretty good, but this one is pretty, not rotating all that easily. So, not sure what I'm gonna do yet. This is starting to be a huge project. Okay, so I didn't finish my thought on the last piece. These tone rings, the speed sensor examines the teeth flying by. So what I'll do is I'll have to fabricate a bracket that mounts up real close to these teeth, and it'll count them as it's spinning and going by. And that's what the computer system is measuring. It's measuring the rotations and the teeth counts of these tone rings, and that's how it adjusts the brake pressure to each wheel to kind of prevent a lockup of the braking system. So that's why I have to swap these axles on. Alright, so before I put this axle in, I am going to first put the car in neutral so that the diff will spin freely. And then I also need to take the shock. Oops, sorry guys. I'm gonna set it up here. I'll probably go grab a couple zip ties. Make sure that stays in the right spot. Trying to keep y'all in a position where you can see stuff. I'm gonna put a couple zip ties around this so that it doesn't go anywhere in case I knock something. It's very possible that that could happen. So let's see if I can do one on this one too. Okay, that shouldn't go anywhere. All right, so we're good then, and now I may put a couple of these in just to hold it in place. Got my dog out here. Come up. Do I have to unbolt it and put that in? I very well may. It may not go in like that. I'm trying to go in. I'm trying to go in at the top. Yeah, I kind of think that I'm supposed to take the hub yoke off. So I think that this thing is too large to go in there as it is, so I think I have to take it off and put it in there first and then bolt the axle shaft up to it. So let me first do that. You know what the worst part about, well, one of the worst parts about making YouTube videos is that you can't listen to your music out loud. I'm gonna try something else here. See if I can get this to work, because it's hard to, oh man, this cat litter. It's hard to get the U-joint off while it's not bolted in, so let me see if I can find a way to maneuver this back. Okay. All right. You gotta be careful with splines so that you don't jack them up as you're pressing it in. Sorry. Gosh, nowhere to go. So to show y'all what it's the splines are struggling to line up and go in there, so I'm trying to find a way to do it smoothly and not ramrod it in there, and that is the question. me see if I can turn. I never put it in neutral, so let me see. If I can rotate this out of the way a little bit more. Still got a ways to go. Well, so sorry for all the bad shots, but maybe you can see that the threads of the axle shaft are not all, or not the threads, but the splines of the axle shaft are not all the way up as far as they go into the hub. So I need this to go in farther, and that's what I'm kind of struggling with right now, is getting this to go in any farther than it already is. I don't know that this is any better of a view. It's probably not. Doesn't look like it. Get you something in here. Oh, shoot. going in a little bit, but not. Not all the way. I don't know if I need to grease the splines or something, or what. I'm gonna try that. Try greasing the spline. This is likely not the right kind of grease. So I'm not saying to do what I'm doing, but I'm not gonna go run to the store to go get specific grease. Can't imagine I begged and pleaded. This is probably not what you're supposed to do. Putting the axle nut on. Oh. You gotta be kidding me. Oh no. The end is like, oh gosh. I was gonna put a nut on and draw it in, but the end is like jacked up to where the nut doesn't even fit over it because it's so misshapen. Oh my gosh. See, so like look at the end on that. It's like all sorts of jacked up. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and turn my grinder on and take a little material off of this. Ugh. It's okay. Okay. You can see. Recommend you do this at home, but I don't have a lot of choice. All right, that actually worked. I was able to get the nut on. It's a little hard to get on, so I'm gonna take a little more off, but it looks like it's gonna work. Again, you gotta be real careful to not get any of the threads, because that's the most important part of all this. Threading on and going over it, whereas before it wouldn't even fit over the nub on the front. So now we can see if we can pull the axle in with that. Now, I'm gonna try again. I greased up the splines inside the hub, and then I greased the splines on the half shaft. So let's see if we can get that in there and installed, because then from there I'll be able to measure. Man, where's a good spot to put you? Need something that can stand up on its own. Yeah, I don't know where to put you guys, so I'm sorry. I'm gonna do this again. Okay. So let's try that. Go through it on this side. It's already going in further than it did before. I think this is gonna work. Let's see if we can. Man, come on. Man, that does not want to come on. Okay. This is probably not anyone's recommendation. But I'm gonna use my impact to tighten the nut right there, and then hopefully it'll pull the axle in. Till the U-joint, oh shoot. All right, U-joint cap fell out when I did that. Let's see if we can draw this in. See, it is pulling it in, so that part's working. I just don't, I'm not exactly sure how, oh, it's pretty dang close, because it's, it looks like the base of the, like, you see what I mean? The base of the axle shaft is up against the hub, so that's probably where it's supposed to be, actually. So I can probably proceed with that as is. Put this U-joint cap back on. See what I mean? A lot of people put zip ties around U-joint caps whenever they're doing this kind of stuff to keep them from falling off. I like to do things the hard way, so I forget about that. But yeah, so this is exactly what I was trying to do. was get this axle shaft installed. That way I can figure out where I need to add a bracket. Got some grease right here. Where I can add a little bracket for my speed sensor to read this tone ring for the ABS. So that is a huge part of this that's done. So I mean, yeah, putting an axle shaft in is normally easy, and it was easy overall. It's just not without its headaches, and I made it harder by not trying to take the shock off. So again, my lesson learned, and what I would advise you is if you're trying this, is make sure you take the shock out first. It's a lot easier to get the axle in and out. I'm blown away though that the nut wouldn't fit on the end of the axle shaft. It was so misshapen, which I don't know what would cause that, but it certainly was, and the nut would not fit over it before I'd ground it down a little bit. And you guys are probably thinking I'm crazy, but I mean, you got to do what you got to do. So at least it's installed. So it's moving around some when I do that. I don't know that it's doing anything, but I might be able to get some threads on that. I just had to wiggle it like crazy, but now a little bit of it's showing. So I'm hoping. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Now, where's the big boy? There it is. Now you want to see it, it'll pull the axle in. So I'll hit it with this side. Actually, let me turn the setting down down there. All right, it's pulling it in. It's not in all the way for sure, but do the I don't know that it's in all the way, but let me try and hold the axle still if I can. Come on now. Well, it's close, but I can still see a little bit of a gap. So let me hold it just one more time. Sorry, didn't mean to turn you. It's very hard to work and keep everything in the same spot, especially camera. There it goes. I could feel it bottom out. I saw the nut stop spinning, and you can check down low, and you can see where the butt of the axle is up against the hub. So that's when you know you've got it all the way in. And now I need to remember, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. To take this off so that I remember to put my washer back on, because I think I forgot that on the other side. Let me just make sure. Nope, it didn't pull it out. We're good. And I'm gonna do this real quick, make sure that I don't forget on the other side, because I'm positive. Hey, sweet girl. Here's my sweet girl. You're a sweet girl. You're so good. You tell everyone hi. You say. You tell them hey. Tell them. Tell them. Yeah, that's my girl. That's my girl. Okay. Yeah, see, I still got my washer right there, so that means that I've inappropriately put this on. That one came off like it was nothing. So, before I forget, I'll put the washer on. And then maybe once I get it in gear is when I'll put all that stuff in. I'll do that over there so I don't forget that. But yeah, that works really well. Using the hub nut to kind of pull the axle in. Should probably put some anti-seize on that. So that's kind of on there. I got the washer on. So yeah, now the axle's in, I can put it up into the diff and put those U-joint straps on. All right, so now we're at the front wheel hubs, which we need to take the entire hub assembly apart, which what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna first take off the brake caliper. Then from there, we'll obviously remove the rotor, and then I'd end up disconnecting this this tie rod steering link, and then I'd undo both of the ball joint nuts. So let's first begin with the brake assembly. Oh gosh, of course. This fucking thing, man. sorry for those that can't see what I'm working on. Let's see if... Alright, one bolt out. Those aren't the ones I needed to do. I needed to do these inside ones. It's annoying. Sure looks like they do. Sure looks like they have different front knuckles. That's not good. Well, this is not good. Because, alright, well, I'm running into a major hiccup here. I have, oh man, this might be something that grounds me for a while. Oh no. Alright, well, maybe you guys can see what I see. When I look at this hub, there's obviously no center for I guess a rotating object, a tone ring assembly to spin on. So if I spin the rotor, just this outside piece rotates. Well, when I hold this, sorry, this can be hard. If I try and hold the hub still and you rotate the wheel, well, you see this tone ring spinning on the back side. Well, my knuckle has nowhere for this piece to rest. So I either need to order new knuckles for this, because this is solid. Oh man. Or I'd need to drill giant holes in it. That is a major hang up. So I'm gonna have to put you guys on hold. Alright. So I struggled getting these ball joints apart. Still haven't gotten them apart, but I caved and I went up and rented some tools from Advance. It was very expensive, but I should get all the money back whenever I go to return them. But let's try these and see if we can get it apart. This is likely not gonna work. Nope. this one may. Hold on, let's see. Alright. So let's get, I'm sure it's like a 3/4 or something. So let's, hopefully you can see that. Man, it's pulling pretty hard. I can't believe it's not off yet. Oh my goodness. I can't believe this thing's not out yet. Now let's see if I can get another wrench on that. Another BAW. Oh my gosh. So maybe I gotta turn it this way because see if we can get it right here, because then I should still be able to use this. Man, there it goes. I hate that pop. It is the worst noise on the planet. All right, and you want to leave this on a little bit so that you can work on getting this one out. So let's see. I may have to take the shock off because this is not a. Oh, this is working, and I want it to continue to work. And where's my 3/4? It might be on the other side, actually. Here it is. shock is free. Let me zip tie that one up into place. Be safe. All right, so now hopefully, let's see. That lower mount might not allow me to get to it. It's just not gonna let me in there. Not going to. All right. Let me just see what we can do with this bad boy. See if there's anything that can be done. Oh, gosh dang it. I wasn't seated on the other side of the cradle, so maybe if I took this one off, it would allow me the room to, probably not. It probably will not. Where's my 3/4? I just had it. Oh, it ain't. What is it? What is this? What size is that? It's not a... That one's smaller. 5/8 or something? come on. Golly. These things are under so much pressure, it's insane. Well, let me see if I can lower the now it comes off. Man, that was some work. That one's press in, that one's thread in. Put these back on so I don't lose them. Man, that was way more work than I wanted it to be. And now I get to do it again on the other side. I hate doing ball jumps. I don't know why, but man, that loud pop scares me every flippin' time. Alright guys, I described to you the issue that I'm seeing as I'm beginning to work on the front section of the car. And so I'm still going to take my hubs off because I think, or the steering knuckles off, because I wonder if they can be modified to work like the later generation knuckles. So I'm going to proceed as is right now. Oh man, that thing is right in the way. That is annoying. It's not even the same size. Man, that is frustrating. Ooh, I bet you if I pop the toe link out, then I can turn this and then I could get those bolts. So let me do that first, actually. If I crack this loose, it should be able to pivot, and then I should be able to loosen those bolts. So let me find the right size socket for that. Steven, this is your sign to mute.
Did you watch the stage 1 back last night? What was going on there?
That must be it.
It's hard to follow what TV.
We're trying to keep those cars from making it on one stop. So you try to push the pace to force them to have to run more throttle. That's the gist of it. And if you can pull away from the pack, that's bonus. It's a bonus. But in the end, you know, the thought process is if you run really hard and pit twice, it's actually faster than someone running really slow for the entirety of 100 laps. You would still catch back up to it even with an extra pit stop, but the way the draft works and some cars are so draggy that it just lets you run 20% throttle and keep up with the pack.
Yeah, because like what does it mean to pull away from the pack? Because you know, I feel like at the widest, you were coming off turn 4, the end of the pack was maybe going through 3. But then by the time you got to your pit stop, you guys were all bunched up again.
I don't know. Again, I see it from in my car. I can't see all this shit this goes on.
Yeah, it just didn't look like the difference in y'all's lap times were maybe 5, a second.
Yeah, like we're running all out versus guys that are running half throttle. Yeah, it's just because they can use our drag. Like, yeah, they don't have to run their throttle. Again, the air that gets punched by this car is so massive and they're so draggy that all it takes is a little bit of a sniff, and you could just run half throttle right now. That's part of the problem. Because of the drag. And that's why these races have become even when everyone wanted to go 100%, there's nowhere to go. Hell, I'm battling for the lucky dog. He's one row up. He's just one row in front of me. It's just, I'll never get there. You're not going to get there. There's nothing you can do to go get that spot. That's 25 feet. Can't do it. Because I tried going high, I tried going low, I tried to build. There's just nowhere to go. You can't pull out a line. So you have to stay in this pocket of cars and just, no, I guess we can wait. We want to make sure we're safe. Lack of ability to pull out of line in this car is what has caused fuel mileage racing to happen.
Yep. Do you think the changes to stage 1?
You know, I was utterly confused. You know, I knew I was in trouble, but I didn't. Yeah, I
All right.
used radio access.
So now that's loose.
One down,
I can
2, or yeah.
reach
Leader's
those.
right behind you. I knew that was a death sentence.
Yeah, as I told you on the plane, I said there were 3 strategies in stage 1. The one-stop strategy, the two-stop strategy, and the two-stop strategy with pass-through.
Yeah,
There were enough cars there.
there were a lot, right?
Yeah.
There was cars all over the damn racetrack.
Yeah.
And typically, spreading out your 38 car or 40 car field.
All right, that's the one.
2.5 mile track that, you know, it can get quite spread. Yeah, just the different strategy. It just was interesting that I know why they did what they did, but it just caused us really feel safe. Field, you know, especially the third of the field that wanted to do it on one stop. For laps, they are not racing. They don't care anything about racing. Now we tried. 11, there's 2 others. We at least tried to talk to Trent. We're just gonna go. Maybe we can pull away. There's these guys that come with us. They came with us with less throttle. Absolutely correct. That's exactly correct.
I think the change of the stage brakes around the lengths was just rearranging chairs in the Titanic. Like it just, yeah, the end was. Like I don't think changing it did anything better for the race.
No, I think we fuel saved the same amount that was before. I appreciate them trying to change it though. Like no, it did not work.
At least they tried.
But my first recommendation: please do whatever it takes. You gotta run 210. We'll run 210. It's fine.
So I guess I do have to take those off because those are bolted to that. Let me go get the big one.
More than our Gen 6 car. Hundreds of pounds more drag. It's just, if you let us pull out of line and know that we can come out of our pit stop in 10th and still have a chance to win because we're going to pull out of line and make runs and shit, we won't care about the fuel safety. I promise you.
Yeah, I know. I'm a dummy. I'm a dummy. I was hammering on it. It wasn't even
10 miles an hour.
ready to come out. I know. I'm stupid. But that's also why I use a rubber mallet.
Yeah, I mean, they're more added lift off, which that's not good. You got to mention, but drag.
You got more laps to work.
I don't know. We got laps everywhere. But, you know, we're running hundreds more horsepower. It feels like maybe 150 than what they used to. The cars go slower today and have more horsepower. They've had this car's not designed to be super speedway racing.
Yeah, let's just ask it all these questions and then we have a conversation. It's like all the things that would make the race better, there's a caveat of party and sport would have.
Alright. I'm going to go ahead and zip tie the caliper to the control arm.
Said, you know what, we agree.
So that that
First,
can't
let's take
fall.
them to agree that we want to see somebody, we want to see Dale Earnhardt being able to go from 17th to 1st in 8 laps. That would never exist today. They would have to agree that they want to do something about it. Then they would have to go to the stakeholders. Number one, the stakeholders that would have issue with this would be the engine builders, because they would have to go to them and say, we need to cut the horsepower down.
Alright, so then we take these cotter pins out
The reason the manufacturers
and separate the knuckle.
spend lots and lots of money developing their super speedway engines at these horsepowers, right? Well, if I just had a wish and I didn't have to answer to anyone, I would say, okay, we'll go to all 3 OEMs and say to them,
Maybe easier to go ahead and take these out while it's on here. So I may go ahead and do that.
we're going to put the space.
I may go ahead and try and get those off.
Down 150 horsepower because we're going to take some drag out of the cars to improve the racing. Let's just run them on the dyno and see, are they close? Are they still close to each other? Because right now, all 3 manufacturers' engines on super speedways are within a couple of horsepower horsepower of each other. They're very, very close. NASCAR likes that, the OEMs like that. So, in order to reduce the horsepower, you've got to put the spacer on. Within that could dramatically affect one manufacturer or another of their horsepower curves at a lower horsepower versus where it is now. So my thing is like, let's just do it. And run
She
it on
said,
the
"Do you
dirt
like
and
Bad
see,
Boys?"
are they
Say
all
yeah.
still within a couple?
I
Let's just
use
ship it.
chrome
Let's just say,
sockets with my impact.
fine. Someone's got 1 or 2 horsepower, it's fine. Prove the super speedway race, in my opinion. It's never too late to make the right
All right.
decision.
So this is out now.
Could add
Shoot, they look like identical. Hold on. Let me go get the
currently got, but it
Yeah.
would decrease
the one I
reliability.
have.
Yeah, and that also would be a concern for the manufacturers, is that I don't know. Maybe if you choke down the horsepower a little bit, you know, you're starving that thing with more air. Yeah, I don't know. There likely could be other repercussions to doing that to the current engine, and maybe yes, they would have to make some other changes to the engine to accommodate the smaller spacer. But if we talk about, and I heard Steve O'Donnell say, you know, where this sport to be in 5 years, I could tell you right now, I don't want to do this for another 5 years. Like, rewind the podcast from how long have I been doing this? Year 4? Is it? For the last 3 years, I've said, please let's not neglect that we have a super speedway racing issue. You can't pull out a line in these cars, not without a train of people behind you. So we've been saying it for years, and it's like I just want it to change, and I'm impatient, and I know there's tons of stakeholders that would say pump the brakes. It's not that easy, and I totally get that. But I want us to start on it right now. Tomorrow.
Steve O'Donnell's got a gold opportunity for that. So he's the new CEO.
Guys,
right?
these
You
look
know, say, I wanna
identical
change this.
in
The
height.
fans would be
I
behind him. And if
am
he
almost convinced
changes the
I can drill.
And again,
They're like, I wish you could. Well, here, I'll help you. All right, guys. Yeah, the hole
Absolutely not.
the hole in the center is obviously different. And hold on, let me get them lined up how they're actually supposed to be. Yeah, the hole in the middle is different, but like height-wise, like, I mean, yeah, this is no caliper, and I would get one and measure it, but man, they look identical in height. So I have a feeling that this little bearing is the same outside diameter. It's just the center hole is different, and then there's a hole drilled in the middle. Like, I bet you if I put this one in there, it'd fit right up. So I say that's what we try right now. Let's see if without the ABS provision, will it fit right up in there. And it does. So look at that. I bet you, sorry, so that you can see, it fits right up against it. No issues, it's spinning. We would just need to drill that center hole out. Heck yeah. Okay, so I think we've got some progress here to be made. Like, I think I might be stupid, but I may drill this hole. I may put the bolt on there, put a little grease on, dab it in there, and then drill out my hole. Now, I'm probably gonna have to grind some of that because it's probably gonna have some interference issues with the tone ring coming out and spinning around. But I mean, that I can figure out. I think I've got a plan. Alright, we are now working on the right front since we've got the left front off. And so now I've got to get this cotter pin out and this tie rod steering link disconnected to get the brake off, the brake mounting point off. It didn't feel right, I just needed to check it. Sorry, I know it's annoying seeing a light in the camera, but I need it to see, so. Man, this thing, threads are all chewed up. Come on. hate how violent those are. I hate popping tie rods. It is the worst feeling on the planet. Okay. All right, so now I can spin this. Sorry, I know it's right in your way, but hopefully you can see some of what I'm trying to do. Oh, I need that adapter. Oh gosh, I'm tightening it. Wow. Man, shouldn't be touching the rotors like that, but come on. Gosh, I hate it when this stuff, when it's like, yeah, I'm free, and then go to take it out, and it's like, no, I'm not. Now this one's different. All right. Now, that one's off. All right. The brake is off. All right, I think I'm gonna take a break there because I had to take the shock off and I'm not in the mood to do that right now and I wanna finish my morning coffee, so.
Drive around, people got stuck in a dirty spot.
All right. I skipped some steps on here so that y'all don't have to keep watching me struggle to get shock mounts off. I'm gonna go get the correct size bolts so that I stop floundering with that. But yeah, so let's get going on getting these off. Come on. Maybe I need to pop that off so that I can angle it. Let's do the top one first, because that's what we did the last time and it worked pretty well. All right, I think it was a 5/8. Oh, that one's 3/4. Honestly, I hate doing this because almost every time that happens, it scares me to death. That one was not bad at all. But man, sometimes these just freak me out. I know it sounds dumb, but man, when it makes that really loud noise, God, it gets me every time. It makes me dread this part of the project. Okay, well, see now I should have a little more control over. I know, I'm sorry the camera dropped on y'all, but I'm kind of wondering if I could make. Is this possible now? Is that no? Oh man, I don't think this one's gonna. Oh man, I got a mosquito on me. I don't know that this one's gonna let me do that. Let's see if it'll. These mosquitoes are the worst. It may. Let me see. Oh, why my hands are so greasy from that. Let's see. Let's see if I can rest that on some wood, maybe. That may stabilize up. Yeah, that might work. Oh, it's a 3/4. Let's see if we can get a bigger piece of wood to be a little more stable. Still gonna want to rotate, but... Let's try. There we go. There we go. Sorry for the angle, guys. I could have adjusted you, but I was just making good progress, so I didn't want to. All right. This side was way better than the other side. I'm sure you're like, of course, you didn't show us anything. But it really was. You learn your lessons on the first time doing things. It's not my first time doing it, but I mean, I do get rusty and I don't remember exactly what's the best way to do each thing. But that's why you have 2 times to do everything. You get the first time on one side of the car to get it wrong, and then the second time you get to do it right, and that's the time you film it and you post it. The worst part about a 20-minute job is the first 4 hours. All right, so now this knuckle is free and I can take it to a shop and I can have them press out or not machine out the center so that it'll fit my tone ring. So we'll take that to the shop and get them to machine it out. All right, guys, I have an update for you. I had a machine shop bore out some holes, drill and bore out some holes in my steering knuckles. And so what this allows me to do is, let me see if I can turn this around. So now I can take these later gen Viper hubs, I can mate them to this steering knuckle, And then now it's got the provision for the backside of this tone ring to fit in here, and then I can thread in the bolt. These are not the exact same as the steering knuckles on the 01 to 02s, I don't think. Now I'm not like dead positive, but there's very little clearance here between the tone ring and the hub, and you could almost say it makes a little, I wouldn't say it makes contact, but it's so close. And so what the local machine shop to me suggested is they were like, get some fender washers and space it out so that you bring the tone ring out some, and then that also gives us room to mount our ABS sensor. Part of the importance of that, I mean, obviously you need your sensor, but the part of the issue is on this side of the steering knuckle, and I apologize, y'all are so far away. Maybe I can move you a little closer, and yeah. So part of the issue is get this in. Yeah, so now it's like properly spaced out. There's a little bit of there's room for this tone ring. Sorry, this is very hard to do without the hub being bolted to the knuckle and then holding it all and spinning it. So now the tone ring has a little bit of room between it and the steering knuckle, because the difference that I see between the early Gen 2 steering knuckles and the later Gen 2 ones with ABS is it looks like these knuckles are flat on the bottom side. And let me pull the other one to show you. This is not flat. It is convex, I think is the right word, where it's out. Concave would be in, convex would be out. So this has a little bit of lift to the profile. It's not just flat. And I think the other Gen 2 steering knuckles were flat. So that is a uniqueness to it. But where I was going a second ago is these 4 mounting holes are all used for my billet brackets that mount the brake hubs, or I'm sorry, the brake caliper mounting. These are the adapter brackets for the later Gen 3, 4, 5 Viper calipers, that these brackets adapt to allow me to run those larger calipers. And those brackets use these 4 mounting holes. So I'm not, and that bracket will come up over here. So I'm gonna have to be real thoughtful about where I mount it. This ABS sensor is likely going to have to be mounted over here and pointed in at the tone ring, because I'm not sure that I can fit anything right in here. So that's what I'm about to do, is I'm about to mock everything up and see where I've got clearance so I can take this hub back over to the machine shop, and they can add a little bracket or drill a hole and tap it for me to add my wheel speed sensor. So that's what I'm working on now. So let's try. All right. So first things first. Yeah, I know my boot's disgusting. It's got metal fragments. I know. I know it's gross. I will eventually replace these ball joints. Ugh, I don't want that there. I don't want that getting pinched up when the control arm articulates. Alright, so let me go grab the steering wheel. Okay, alright, sorry. I had to get the tone ring off of this old hub. And so I'll get it inserted in here. And yes, there's a gasket that's going to go between those. I'm just mocking this up strictly for figuring out if I can use this to mount my my wheel speed sensor, or determining the location where I'm going to mount my wheel speed sensor. So yes, I'll go back and put that in. And yes, in an ideal world, I would be, sorry, so you can see what I'm doing. My hands are really greasy. All I did was separate the tone ring, added my little washers, and then threading this back in through the hole that we just had milled. Alright, so that's kind of snug. Oh, this is where I was talking about. There's a gasket that goes between the hub and the knuckle. I know that. I'll put one on later whenever. Maybe I'll do the top one first. Okay, let's see if I can get these like kind of close. Oh shoot. This is gonna be an issue. It's gotta be milled in because, okay. So that's a problem. Because the castle nut for this ball joint is not gonna go on. So let me see if I can get. Let me see if I can get my jack over here so that you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, all right. Let me show you the issue I'm running into right now. So I can't go to put the castle nut on right there because now it's hitting the tone ring. So that's a problem. I mean, let me see if I can do it in an order. Let's see if that makes a difference. So I'm gonna take this off. Alright, take this off, see if I can put the castle nut on. It's like not the right solution, but let's just try things before we just commit to. Yep, I was not thinking that that would be an issue, but this is the kind of thing, when you get to modifying cars, you don't know all the issues you're gonna run into until you do it. So you kind of just have to do it and figure it out. And I cannot get that thing to stay attached right there. All right, let's just connect to that and we'll turn you. All right, so then come in here, see if Holy cow. Okay, I mean it there's clearance now. So you got to get the nut on and then do the castle nut. Or you do the castle nut on, then you do the tone ring. And then okay, so that's interesting. That is interesting. So let me get a couple other bolts in. Let me set the sway bar in link approximately. Ugh. Crap. Might have to lower this some. Sorry. Not what I wanted to do, sorry. Okay. Close. Okay, all right. Now that can come back down. Okay, just to get a ballpark. And I know y'all are probably like, get over it, Steven. This isn't where your clearance issue is gonna be. And I agree, it's probably not gonna be, but I don't wanna not do something and it come back and bite me later because I didn't pay enough attention to it. So, okay, all right, that's all there. I might have had issues threading this on. Please tell me that we don't have that issue again. Might have an issue with that, but this fits. All right, let's mock up the brake caliper. Oh, I need to put a couple of bolts in for the wheel hub, make sure that it's all lining up. So let me get these started. All right, that one in. That one in. Okay, that looks good. Now let's do the brake caliper. Okay. These long ones are going to be on the inside. Am I missing one? Missing a bolt? I thought I had all four. Man, what happened? I feel like I'm missing a bolt. Did I drop one? Man, that ain't good. What the heck? Is it somewhere? Oh, it's still in there. Okay. Alright, cool. Cool. So now, let's get some, oh, they're on there. Let's get some more colors. Do I need to put a rotor on? I think I need to put a rotor on. That shouldn't affect anything. Man, this thing has hardly any clearance. But it looks like it does. Oh man, that is tight. Alright, let me show y'all. That is what we're working with right there. Look at that clearance. Look at that clearance, Clarence. Yeah, so this bracket's from IPSCO, IPSCO, whatever you want to call them. So he had that in mind when he made that bracket. He had this little notch cut out in the center for the tone ring. So that is great. And you might be able to see this better from the top. That is how close we are between the tone ring and the castle nut. It's better when you look at it from the side, really, because you can see that there's actually like a decent little gap right there. So it's really not that bad, but that's what we're working with. So I think this is all gonna work out. I think this is the best spot right here to mount our ABS sensor. So I think that's gonna work. All right, guys. My front wheel hubs are back. Not the hubs, but the steering knuckles. And they've been drilled out, and the hub is mounted, and the tone ring's there. And now we've got a little bracket to mount our speed sensors. And so this is just gonna work out great, because it'll set it up to be right where it needs to be. And he's my guy at RJS. He just made this thing like perfect. I mean, look at how close that is. He notched it so that the bracket fits down in there, and that it's super close to the tone ring. It's just fantastic. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take those little Allen screws out, and I'm gonna put some Loctite on them. Maybe I'll stay still. Just a little too big. A little too big. That means that that one's too big. Alright, so a little smaller than that. Probably one of these then. And those are small. It's not the right size. Let's see if I can find a better fitting one. Sorry, I know you're probably like, man, your hand's in the way. Sorry. Alright. So we'll pull this out. Put a little thread locker on it. Ooh, that one's all stopped up. Here, let's use this. Alright, that's a lot of Loctite. So hopefully these things never have to come off. All right, that one's done. I'll make sure I'm not. Do not cross thread this, because you just. Alright, I'm gonna put y'all down for a second because I gotta check something to watch now that I've got it situated. Alright. So I just needed to make sure I wasn't cross-threaded it because this is aluminum and I put some Loctite on it, so I want to be extra sure that I'm not about to screw anything up. Create a massive problem for myself. Alright, it's tight. Alright, we'll check it again. Make sure that yeah. It's right there, so that is fantastic. So these are gonna work out great. So let's do the other one now, actually. And this one's gonna mount up the same way, I think. Put them here, yep, and then it's super close. Alright. Let me just recheck it. Yep, it's right there. Alright. So now, just getting a little torque on them. All right. So now those are pretty much set in place and they're done, and we can start installing them on the car. All right. Let's go. Oh, I put it back on. Nice. Okay. All right. So, man, those brakes really could use some work. All right. I'm just reassembling the front suspension now that I've got my. Oh, it's backwards. Is it? Did I grab the wrong side? Yeah, this goes on the other side. Dang it. How did I mess that up? Oh wait, I'm just grabbing the wrong one. Oh! Okay. Alright. So, put that on. Okay. All right, it's on. Come on. Why do these things get so damaged during the installs? These threads are so fragile. Man, these things are garbage. They keep getting jacked up. Oh my gosh. Well, it's on. I kind of want to rebuild my brakes now though, which is, I wasn't really wanting to, but these dust boots look terrible. Absolutely terrible. The pistons are starting to have corrosion. Man. Man, do I really want to get into that right now? Sheesh. This is so frustrating. Well, I've got the castle nut on, so now I can go and put the Sorry, I didn't show y'all. I apologize. I installed the steering knuckle without the tone ring installed because this castle nut is in the way, and man, it is close. Holy cow. There's hardly any room between it and, like, well, I guess when I tighten it a little more, that tooth will be a little farther away on the castle nut. But yeah, so I have to install it with this tone ring off of the car so I can tighten this castle nut, or get the castle nut on, and then I can put the tone ring in. So that's like a little, just a little thing that you've almost gotta think through before you start slapping stuff together. So I probably should put some, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do actually. I'm gonna put some Loctite on this tone ring so that it doesn't come flying off and go somewhere else, because I don't know where I'm gonna get another one of these. So let me do that real quick. I'm gonna go put some Loctite on this. I know that's crazy, and I probably shouldn't do this, but I do not want this thing coming off and losing it. And so I put some Loctite on there. Probably should have used blue, but I have red, so I used red. I don't have blue right now, so. It's tight. All right. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't have to tighten too much. Maybe I should. Hold on. I should not do that, because yeah, don't listen to me, because that's a bad idea. Because if I have a couple more turns to make on this castle nut and I'm not expecting it, then I could be screwed. So don't do that. Don't listen to me. Yeah, I didn't think through that one very well. So hold on. Alright, this bottle of blue Loctite sounds like there's some in there, which is a good thing, because I could have totally screwed myself up doing that. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to blow some compressed air in there to get that break. Now, I can thread this in. Tighten it, and we'll be good to go. All right, now it's tight. It's got some Loctite. It's got some more clearance now too, which is good. All right, so that part is done. I kind of want to rebuild my brakes. I've already got a rebuild kit. As you can see, those boots are really worn. They're destroyed actually, so I really should rebuild these brake calipers, so maybe I'll end up doing that. But I'll go ahead and reassemble the other side of the... Actually, I can finish putting some of these mounting bolts in there. Well, that's not true, because I'll probably take that bracket off with it. I'll probably rebuild it with that bracket on there. So, alright. So the next thing that we're gonna do, rebuild these brake calipers. So that's what I'm prepping to do. Alright, there we go. Tension is off. This should slide through. But close your eyes, because that's brake fluid. Okay. I got them out of, and then hopefully, yes. All right. All right. We are cooking with fire. To have the seals, but they're just tucked up in the dust boots, which is interesting. Alright, now we'll do this side. So first, throw that one on. Okay, we'll this all up. Okay, come on. Go the rest of the way. Come on. Okay, those are tight. Well, it's not tight, but it's in there enough. Okay. Now it's seated in there, and now we can do the tone ring. I have a little blue Loctite on there. Man, come on. Bottle fall over. Okay. Come on. There we go. All right. I don't want to go too crazy on the torque on this because I don't want to strip the head out and create issues for myself later on. There we go. All right, it's in. Man. Okay, those two are in.